everybody, and welcome to another episode of SOPHI Live. Today, we're going to be talking about the different shades of love and how it affects all of us. I'm joined by my lovely host, Danica.
Hi, Dan.
Wonderful. Hi. So, today, we're going to be talking about, of course, just a few things that we want to incorporate, especially for our relationships. The first thing that we're going to be talking about is what we understand about love and how we define it. Secondly, what are the fun things that we want to do for relationships and whatnot.
And also what we're going to be, what's the relationship and what we think about love and also our first date and all.
Oh yeah, and also another thing, what we actually gain and what we lose during each relationship and moving on. So besides that, I'd just like to do a quick roll call and introduction for the people for both sides. We'll start with Sophie Duma. We have Panky, she's one of our team leads. And then we have Miss Chloe, she's also our CEO. And we also have Leia, she's from HR. And that's it for Dumaguete, actually. And there's myself, of course. There's Steven.
And we have May for Cebu and Jake for Cebu.
Wonderful. All right, so let's get right to it. But before that, let me just lay down some ground rules. So first off, we're going to be asking one question for 2 or 3 individuals. We're going to alternate between both sides, or we're just going to exchange whoever wants to share on that particular topic, and then we're just going to answer as many questions as we can. And once that's done, and we'll see how it goes. And by the way, for our audience, of course, thank you for stopping by. If you like the content that we're producing right now, please don't forget to hit that like button and ring that subscribe bell to make sure that you don't miss any of our future content. So let's get right to it. First off, I'd like to start off with Panky, actually. So Panky, how do you define love in 5 words?
I don't know. That's one of the things that I've always had a difficulty with, because like no matter how much I try to put it into words, I just there's just no explanation for it for me. Yeah, so I would say spontaneous, unpredictable, but at the same time, I guess just feeling of, I don't know, completeness, I guess.
Wonderful. Great to hear that. What about you, Mayo? How do you define love rather in 5 words?
5 words. Like technically 5 words only.
Yeah, exactly 5 words, or just five adjectives if you like.
I really don't know if this should be a definition about love, but for me, I think love works if you understand each other. I mean, love should never let you have to say sorry without, you know, having the feeling of getting the meaning of the word sorry itself. Because if you love someone, you should understand whether it's really gonna work or whatnot. You have to take the risk for it and just go with the flow.
Absolutely, definitely. Let's just get one more opinion on that. Let's hear from Leia. Leia, love in 5 words. What do you think?
Oh, love. I can't really, but love should be unconditional. Love is family. It's not just relationships. So family, friends, companion, someone who's always there for you, who'll be there for you. And love is it's just 4 words. So yeah. Yes.
That's all right. Thank you so much for pointing that out. I think I'll have Danica take over the next question, actually.
So yes, the next question is
Dan. And yeah, Oh, there she is. All right. Can you hear us, Dan?
Oh,
There you are. You kind
yeah.
of disappeared for a second.
Can you
Yeah.
hear me?
Yeah, we
You
can
ready?
hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. So yeah, my next question is, do you believe in true love or love at first sight? Why or not? Or why not? I would like to call Jay for this question.
Uh, that's kind of
Jay?
tough question, Dan. That's kind of type. That's tough question, Dan. Since I literally experienced that when I was still in high school. Well, yes, I do believe love at first sight, but the thing about love at first sight is you're not really that sure if you will last long, if you will push through to that relationship. But what you can do is you need to understand what should happen in the future and try not to anticipate or not to expect anything from the other person's feeling. All you just need to do is just accept everything. If it works, it works. If it's not, then move on. That's it.
Okay, thank you for that, Jake. Definitely, you have a point there. And what about Leah? For that question, do you believe in true love or love at first sight?
Well, I believe in true love, of course, because as what you can see, our grandparents, I really look up to those people. So for love at first sight, yes, I do believe in love at first sight. It just depends on how things work in the future, but definitely if you feel that way on your when you first met that person and eventually you will get to know him or her more, then yeah, it will be love at first sight. I believe in that.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Leah. All right, one more person. What about hi Art? Thank you so much for joining.
Hello.
Yeah, hi. So
Hi,
yes,
Art.
so we have one question. I would like to ask you this: do you believe in true love or love at first sight? Art. Hello, Art.
Oh, wait, that question was for me that say okay, there we go. So yeah, I think true love is say over exaggerated because I think all forms of love are true. It's just that it's the way how the receiver appreciates the love that you're giving because there are actually different kinds or languages of love. And I think that depends on the receiver if ever that person perceives it as true love or not. And yeah, it takes two to tango with love. So I don't think there really is such a thing as true love, or there's I don't know. My mind is missing. Okay. Yeah, but that was it. As for love at first sight, yeah, I think so. I mean, love love is a form of attraction, and when you talk about love, you can't just say, "Wait, your love is not true," because that sparked the moment you first saw her or something like that. I mean, that's still love. You can't say that love is not love just because you don't believe in that kind of love. I mean, sucks to be you if you did not experience that one. But if there's spark, if you're happy, if that person is happy, I mean, that's still love. So yeah, I think that's love in general.
All
All
right, thank you
righty.
so much.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for that, Art. So, next question. The question that we had listed, I feel actually connects to the last one we asked. So let me just skip that and ask this one. I'll start off with Miss Chloe, and we're gonna open this particular question up for debate. If anyone wants to hop on it, do you think once you love someone, you will always love them, or do you think love can fade away with time? Why or why not? Let me just repeat that because it's kind of heavy. Do you think once you love someone, you will always love them, or do you think love can fade away with time? Let's start off with Miss Chloe. And again, if anyone wants to hop on that question, feel free. It's I'd say this is good for debate. This is a good topic for a debate.
I love how you gave me a really hard question, Stephen.
My bad.
Yeah. Well, I believe when you love someone, your love can change. And for example, You can truly love someone, but if you're not meant for each other, you can still love that person, but not be in love with the person in a romantic sense. Uh, I could I could relate it to couples who share children and who've been separated, where they still love their partner and they do anything for their partner, but there's no romantic love in there anymore. So I think, as what Leia said, love can be anything. Love can be romantic love. Love can be about friendship, about family. So I would say love can truly evolve depending on the stage of your relationship, the level of your relationship. Will it truly go away? I don't know. I'm not certain that it will go away. It might probably be a different intensity or a different way of loving someone. So, um, unless, of course, in certain situations where the person really hurts you so much that you will say, no, I don't want anything to do with that person anymore. But I think even if that happens, once you love someone, I'm sure there's still a little piece of your heart there that cares for that person, even if you no longer see that person the same way as you did when your love was all flowers and hearts and everything, especially when you just both met and stuff. So I believe that love can have different stages, different intensities, but I'm
Mm.
not so sure if it really go away.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Sounds great. Thank you, Miss Chloe. That does that's actually a really great way of putting it. If I were to hop on that, I'd say I think love does fade away in a way because I think that when the way we love people, there's a sense of intensity when we decide to jump on that particular situation, or at least when we connect with someone, we decide whether or not we give it our all or if we give them less. And that's when I think a lot of people can, especially with the way our relationships work now, with the advent of Tinder and all of these different social media apps that promote dating, I think a lot of that actually changes the way we love a person. There's in some cases it's not even love, it's just the satisfaction of the body or the lust. Even sometimes you can't even tell the difference, especially if they're people who do that, and it does happen, unfortunately. So do I think love fades away? The question is, was there even love to begin with, is sometimes my question. So I'd say I think it would really depend on the situation, but yeah, definitely I agree on the point where there are different intensities. So if anyone else wants to hop on that, feel free, because like this is a really heavy question.
Yeah, I would like to add on to it. Was the question was if love would really fade away? I would have to say if it's a natural. I mean, if it's pure love, regardless if you will, like, let's say part ways or whatnot, I think love would always be there, because if you really love the person, it's just that you don't want to be connected with the person anymore, probably because of what he or she has done to you. But I would definitely say that love would remain, because it's how you feel for them, not unless it's not real. But if it's really not real, then probably the euphoria of love would really die a natural death, at was as what people would say. Technically, because it's just plain friendship, or pure admiration, not because you really love the person. It would really depend on the degree of the emotion that you feel for that certain someone, not unless you really are like the first love never die thing. I would really say for me, it would remain. It's just that as time goes by, you would just really learn how to live life without the person. But love would always be there. That's for me though.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. One more person. Let's see who else has something to say about that, because there's this is a heavy question, like I said. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'd like to add on that from Mayo, since yeah, technically I experienced that since I got separated with my partner, and she has my child. So the thing is, yes, there is the love. It's just that it's not that strong anymore. So for me, as with my experience, like yes, I did something wrong. I admit I did something wrong, which ruins our relationship, and it's due to because I didn't understand the situation we're in, and I didn't open up. So I didn't open up to her so that we can talk on what we can do in our relationship in trying to fix it. But the thing is, I just kept silent, and we do have temptations. We can't deny that. But it's really up to the person if that person will go to that side or not. But what I did is, well, yeah, as I mentioned earlier, I did something wrong. And I tried to fix it. However, the love is not that strong anymore. So for now, what we're trying to do is just focus on our son, and that's it. But for me, yes, I still have feelings for her, but as time passes by, it's been 3 years since we got separated. So it's just that we're now somehow friends, or just we just know each other. So the moments that we share the past few years or past 6 years of our lives, yes, we I can still reminisce on that. I'd like to, to make things right, but as we know, let's just wait for time to fix everything. So if you have someone you love, make sure to make them happy. And if there's something wrong, try to open up, try to understand. You have ears, you listen. Since for relationship, it's not that you just always give. You need to collect. So since as they say, it takes two to tango, then work it out.
Awesome.
All
Thank you
right.
for that practical advice. Thank you so much, and I hope things do work out in the end. Yeah, I think that's it for me. We'll hop back to Danica for the next question.
Yeah. So we have our next question. It's about first date. So when and where did you go on your first date ever? Let's ask Miss Spanky.
Um, I it's a very Dumaguete thing. We went to Kiosco. We used to hang out in Kiosco as friends for like the entire first year that we met. And then when things started, when things started between us, like the first actual defined date was we just went for breakfast in Kiosco, which is pretty much like a normal day for us.
Oh, that's so cute. Thank you so much. What about Art? Your first date and when and where?
Okay. First date. I mean, I don't have any partners right now. However, if I will just pick one, I'll pick my relationship with the one that I consider my totga. You know that one, the one that got away. Our first date was actually very, very basic. We met up at KFC. I was just really say I was really just inviting her over food. Then I was also telling her, hey, I could help you with your research, with your thesis and all, because yeah, that was the first intention. However, yeah, things got together, and yeah, that was it. So bland, actually, really. Well, yeah, that was it.
Teacher. You're so teacher art.
Yes, of course. I mean, I was a teacher, so yeah, that was the thing that we did.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, that was it.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. All right. Yeah, let's ask one more person. Let's Mayo, what about you? What was your first date like?
It's nothing special because my ex-boyfriend is actually a man in uniform. So the first date was inside Mactan Air Base. And it's really not a first date though because it's a usual day for me, like doing the jogging thing, and he just happened to like join me. So yeah, that was it. Nothing special because at first I don't have the intention to be in a relationship with him. But technically, since that's the first time that we um met and talked, so I would consider that's our first date.
Here, here.
Nice, nice. That's awesome. All right, one more person before we hop on to the next question. Let's ask Miss Chloe. I'm really curious about this.
Um, not a lot of people know, but I think Steven knows. But I met my husband when we were in high school. So I was 17, he was 15. We were on the same level, FYI. We were on the same level. We were, I think, well, I met him and I was in sophomore when I first, when the second time I moved into to Magete. But nothing really came out of that. There was nothing there. But he really started talking to me, and I think a lot of you, I'm not sure who are in their 30s here, but he started talking to me over. Okay, Panky should relate. He started talking to me on the internet, and I'm not sure if you guys know, but there was a chat platform then called MIRC. This is so old. So there was MIRC, and there were only a few people who were really chatting on a daily basis. And so I was on there, and he was also on there. And we were both in different sections when we were in our third year of high school. So he was in a different section, but we kind of know each other. So he would start chatting me on IRC, and then it was only in the summer before senior year that he kind of told me that he liked me. So the entire summer we didn't really see each other because I didn't want to see him in person because I was shy and I didn't know what to say. If we were together face to face. So the whole summer, we were just chatting online for 2 months, and then I think before senior year started, we decided to go out, and I still was very very shy. I didn't want to. I didn't. We were always talking online and also on the phone, but I didn't know how to act in front of him. So I asked my other friend to go with us. I think, yeah, I asked my other friend to go with us, and he needed to buy guitar strings. So we went out to Opsimus. I know
Oh,
that's
yeah.
so we went out to Opsimus and we bought a guitar string there, and that was the first time after he told me that he liked me that we went out. It wasn't technically a date, but that was the first time we went out. We bought guitar strings and then we came back home. He went to his house, I went to my house. And then after that, we never really had like a date because we didn't have money then. And so when we and then we became classmates in senior year, so we were in the same section. So technically when we saw each other again, when school started, kind of had our first date at the canteen. So we ate at
Oh,
the canteen.
yeah.
That was it. Very very basic, but yeah, that was our first date, if I can recall. That was like 20 years ago, so yeah.
That's awesome. And I remember, if I'm not mistaken, you had to still convert the money into those little chits before you could actually like buy food because they won't accept cash.
Yeah. Did you study in St. Paul's?
I did, yeah. Yeah, still happened during my time, so it was pretty. It was a funny. It's like a common memory. A lot of people from St. Paul's remembers.
Yeah,
Thank you,
so
Miss
you did
Chloe.
that 15 minutes lining up to
Yeah,
pay.
exactly. Yeah, for the food. Thank you, thank you. So yeah, you know what? Let's not leave out Leah. Let's ask her for her first date. Let's see how that went.
Actually, it was very similar with Miss Chloe's because me and my boyfriend met in high school. We're like high school sweethearts, and then
Mm.
in Siliman, we're the one who's gonna transfer to other classrooms. So while waiting for our next class, he just approached me and said, "Do you want some French fries?" I'm like, "Okay." Yeah, and then siya, "Let's go to the canteen." I'm like, "Okay." So yeah, we went to the canteen and then we bought fries and then we talked there for like how many minutes, and then we went back to the classroom, and then my friends were like, "Where did you get the French fries? Where did you came from?" So yeah, that one. So yeah, it was very basic high school canteen first date.
Nice, great, great. I think a lot of us actually shared that time when we were younger, when we had to like save money. We only used our allowance, especially when we were doing our first date. And in relation to that, let's take it back a notch. Imagine yourselves being that age again for your first date, and you only had 20 pesos. How would you find a way to come up with, how would you come up with a fun way to have a date using only 20 pesos, knowing what you know now? And let's go back to the time you had your first date. Let's say it was your first day again and you had 20 pesos. How would you spend it? Let's start with Leia.
Basically, at that time, in a high school canteen setting, all the food are very cheap. Like 20 pesos, you can buy bread or the pack juice or anything. So I wouldn't change anything during my first date because that was a very very nice memory. So maybe I'll buy fries still with my 20 pesos. So I'm not gonna
Nice.
change anything. So yeah.
Wonderful. All right. Great to hear that. Let's check with Art. What about you, Art? If you had to do everything again, but this time you only had 20 pesos, how would you do it?
I think that's easy. We could always just go to some random cafes, and after that one, just freeload there, just use the internet for 1 hour, then do the thesis. And after that one, we'll eat isaw because both of us we really do love street foods, and yeah, my partner back then, I mean, she was really simple. She was really okay with the mundane. She was really okay with the low key stuff and all. So yeah, isaw, that would be a perfect date for us even.
Awesome, awesome. What about you, Panky?
Um, we kind of just like walking around most of the time. If since back then I didn't have my motorcycle, probably just walk around the boulevard or probably like walk around the plaza in Valencia,
Mm-hmm.
and then just get some random food from the stalls there. Don't even have to spend, just the walking around is and talking is pretty nice.
Awesome, awesome. You know what? I'm gonna get some of your ideas and I'm gonna use it probably in the near future. So we'll see what happens. All right. So next question. We're going to transition into heavier territory now. Uh, Do you believe vulnerability is a good thing when it comes to love? Let's start with Miss Chloe.
Always the hard questions. Yes, of course. And I think I'd go back to the other question where do you believe in love at first sight? I don't, because I don't think you can claim to love someone by only looking at how they look like and only seeing them from the surface. Because I think love really is about accepting and choosing to be with someone despite all of their flaws. So, and part of that is being vulnerable. When you're vulnerable, you show someone all your sides, even your bad sides. Realistically speaking, when you're living with someone, you don't always wake up smiling and hugging them, and it's not all cheery when you wake up. Sometimes you wake up on the wrong side of the bed. So being vulnerable and being at your state where you're at your worst and you might not be the best version of yourself, and you can tell you're the person that you're with all your darkest secrets, and for them to accept you, and for them to accept you for all of that, and for you to trust that they will accept you. I think that's really part of love. So yes, vulnerability should be there. Otherwise, you're just putting up a facade in front of someone, hoping that they'll only see your nice side, and also fearing that when they see your bad side, they'll leave you. So I think that's not love. So you have to be really vulnerable and be open to that person seeing all facets of your personality for them, to really say they love you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you for that, Miss Chloe. What about you, Jake? Let's say new love, vulnerability. Do you think it's a good thing?
Well, yeah, for me, it's a good thing since if you're not vulnerable, then you're not a person. You don't feel anything. So in relationship, there's ups and downs, but the only thing is, when you are vulnerable, you need to learn to speak up, to share what you
Mm,
feel, since we need to have open communication. And if you don't have open communication and you are vulnerable, then you're putting yourself to worst. So you might think that yes, this relationship will not work because yada yada yada. But for me, if you ask me, yes, I'm quite vulnerable since I'm emotionally unstable. But
mm,
what I really do right now is, yeah, try to speak up for yourself. If that person accepts what you think, what you say, then that's good. If not, then let it be. At least you shared your thoughts, not not just keeping it on your own. Then something worse might happen. So vulnerability is a good thing, but take it seriously since we do have suicidal thoughts, especially when it comes to love.
mm,
Nowadays, younger age do commit suicide, even though it's just a puppy love.
mm.
But man, I did that already. But yes, it's a very well, for my experience, it's quite intense. So so yeah, as I mentioned, I'm quite unstable, but I really cope up to to uh, try to speak up for myself, and I let the persons around me understand. So if I'm not in a good mood, then just let me be.
Mm.
If I wanted to share, just listen. That's what
All,
I that's what I ask.
absolutely. And thank you for sharing that. I know
That's it.
it's difficult, and thank you very much for pointing that out. And I just want to also encourage everyone else as well. If you do have moments when you think that it's too much, or you feel that the relationship is going in a direction that it would cause harm to yourself or even your loved one, please don't be afraid to reach out. Even at Sophie, we try to put up a community where we have this social network where we talk to each other, regardless of the position in the company. So if ever any Sophian out there, please feel free to reach out. All right, we're here, and we're always ready to listen. So the next person I wanted to ask is Mayo. Actually, Mayo, what do you think? Mayo, are you there? I don't. I Yeah, I think we may be having some technical difficulties. We can't really get a hold of Mayo as of this time. So maybe we can check over with Leia, actually, real quick.
So sorry for that.
Oh, so it's okay. Mayo, can you hear us? Is your connection good?
Yes.
All
Yes,
right,
yes, yes.
all right, go ahead. Sorry, you were saying?
Yeah, I just lose the connection, but I'm not sure if you like ask me a question or whatnot.
I did actually. The question about do you think it's important to be vulnerable during the when it comes to love?
Oh yeah. To be very honest, I myself is a very vulnerable person. I don't think there's nobody who is not. Even guys are. They are. They might not show it like obviously or whatnot, but everybody is, because when it comes to love, we tend to be very emotional. We tend to be very at our lowest moment. We need somebody or someone to like understand us fully, and just make us feel that we matter, we value. It's not just about being how strong you are, or um how definite you can cope up with the pain, but if you're not going to be open about yourself to the certain person that you're eyeing for, or to that person, or to whoever, it's not just about love is not just about romance, right? It could be friends. So for me, being vulnerable is really, I think, one factor about love, because it's one way for us to be emotionally stable with whoever we are going with or talking to. It's one way for us to open ourselves to them, to make them understand that this is us, this is what we are. It's how also they will understand how to handle our mood swings or whatnot. Because there are certain times that we really feel uncertain about ourselves. So if we don't let those people know what we truly feel or who we truly are, I think that would not count as being being human. So yeah, for me, being vulnerable is really like one factor in not just in a relationship, but all over about love. Love is everything, technically.
Absolutely. And
Alright.
thank you for
That's it.
sharing that. Wonderful, wonderful. And just before that, just wanted to remind all of our audience that's watching right now, if you are enjoying the content that you're seeing so far, please, again, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, ring that notification bell so that you won't miss any new content. And let's move on to the next question. Danica, please take the floor.
Yeah. So our next questions, guys. It on your first date. Let's say, for example, you're in a relationship and you guys are in a dating show. What is the question that you would ask your partner and why? So I want to ask Miss Leia, on your first date with your partner and you guys are in a dating show, if you guys were asked to, ask each other a question, what would you ask your partner and why?
Hmm. Okay. Let's see. Maybe. Sorry. I need to think. Um. Maybe. Something like, have you cheated before? I'm sorry. I just have to ask.
Whoa, okay.
I'm sorry. It just
It's
popped.
okay. It's okay. So why would you ask that question, Miss Leia?
I don't know. I don't know. I just wanna. I know that's very personal because assuming that it's your first time, but if um maybe I just wanna know that person, and that I just wanna open to that topic about his past. I just wanna let him talk about his past relationships, and yeah.
Yes, and it's like knowing like what was the history and all, right? I know on the first day it's like you want to know everything. And then let's ask Miss Panky.
I think I would ask, uh, where do you see us 10 years from now?
Oh,
Absolutely, yeah.
long-term
Date
relationship.
to marry.
Almost there. But yeah, I think that's important when you're starting a
Mm,
relationship. It's nice to know that the two of you have the same goals, that you share like a vision for your future. Because if you don't have the same um, ideas of what you want to happen in the future, then you're just wasting time. So I think it's really good to just think about the future even from the get-go.
I know. Yeah, you have point there because you just don't want to spend your time and just don't you don't want to waste your time basically.
absolutely. When it comes to wasting time, we only have so much time on this earth, so we gotta use the time that we have to love, love, love. So, of course, moving on to the next question. This is definitely a heavy one. What constitutes cheating or unfaithfulness to you? So let's start off with Art. The question is, what constitutes cheating or unfaithfulness for you?
Actually, that's tricky. But if I were to say take the perspective of say of a girl, um, they would always say that the moment that you start entertaining someone, be it harmless you're harmlessly just entertaining her questions or whatnot. I mean, there are like say common stuff, okay? And when you do that one, they do kind of treat that one as cheating because especially when you don't tell them that you are actually entertaining someone else. Not in a way that you're entertaining them because you have plans for with them or to them, but you're just entertaining for the sake of answering some questions or whatnot. So yeah, for them that would be cheating. However, for me personally, I think what should be considered cheating is when you are already falling out of love with your partner and you now start to look for that kind of spark that you somehow had with her in the past, because right now you can't really see it in her anymore, you can't really feel it with her anymore. So right now you are kind of like looking for that same spark with someone else, but you are still together with her and you do not want to say break up the relationship with her because you want to have a fallback. You do not want to say commit to a new relationship without being sure that you are okay. So you're keeping that your current partner as a fallback. So I think that in itself is cheating. It doesn't have to be that you did something like physical, or it doesn't mean that you say had attachments already with that person. The moment that you think that you are already falling out of love, and the moment that you start looking for that same spark that you've had with your current partner with someone else, that's already cheating.
That is a good way to put it. And to kind of like link with what you're trying to say over there, in my case at least, or at least from my own previous experiences, the moment that it will always start out harmless because I believe that evil comes from the heart, and whether it's things that are involving thoughts of speaking to someone else, or it always starts off innocent, and the moment you don't cut it off at the root, it's always going to grow into something more. It's there was one relationship that I had in the past where I didn't realize that it was started off as a friendly thing, but over time it just kind of expanded into an avenue where we shouldn't have gone. Don't want to really get into the details as much, but in that particular relationship, it didn't blossom into something that we both hoped it would, because at the very beginning, we knew it wasn't supposed to happen. So when it did go into that, it ended badly, I'd say. So still speak to that person? Absolutely not. Definitely not. That's where my thought about like holding on to like just once you decide you're done with that person, you're done. But at the same time, I think we both would have deserved better. We should have handled the situation better. So if that were in my case, I agree with you 100%. But unfaithfulness or cheating always happens. It it's a slow fade. In other words, it's kind of like when you're drowning underwater, and as you slowly as the drowning happens, it just gets darker and darker. You won't even know until it's too late. So definitely on that part. Um, yeah, but what do you think, Panky?
I think that's kind of a slippery slope of an
Right.
argument because
Mm,
it makes it seem like your partner doesn't have like the freedom to make friends with other people just because other
mm,
people seem interested in them. I mean, you can be friends with someone who's interested in you, but I think cheating stems from intent. Like,
right.
if you're losing feeling for your partner and you start being dishonest about that, that's where cheating starts.
Mm,
Um, and I think that you just like if you have the like if the partner or you have the intention to to stray from the relationship in any way, shape, or form, then that's cheating. But I don't think that we should count um like little friendships here and there, because people can be friends with others who are interested in them. And then if you as a partner are affected by that, then
mm.
you could also be honest with your partner about it and talk about what you can do about that situation. But I don't think we should count that as cheating.
Absolutely, and I agree with you 100%. At the same time, I guess at least with my experience, the only reason why I would say it's I'd want to avoid the whole slippery slope thing is because um there are moments when there are people who actually fall into that. It's a quick fall. You won't even notice until you're in deep. But at the same time, I think that's where communication really does need to come in, where the moment you start to feel it, you need to say something, or the moment you start to feel uncomfortable, or if you notice things just don't seem right, that's where things just need to there needs to be a conversation. And I think the moment you keep quiet, or you kind of like stop altogether, that's where unfaithfulness comes in. And I agree with you 100%. We don't have that much time actually, since we're coming close to an hour. I'll just end with two more questions. The second to the last question, this is super important. And I'm going to start off with Miss Chloe. I know that there's a pattern. I'm definitely asking you the harder questions. Um, why must you love someone enough to let them go?
I think when you love someone so much and you need to let them go, it shows a lot of how much their happiness means more to you than your own happiness. So, if you were to ask me how to describe love in 5 words, one of the words would be sacrifice. Because if you love someone so much and their happiness, their well being, everything means more to you than for your own selfish reasons, then you truly are showing that you love someone. And sometimes you're in a relationship where um, both of you are not good for each other. It's not working. It's not healthy, especially unhealthy relationships. And sometimes, two people are just not really meant to be together, and sometimes you have to make that choice where I think you both should part ways for your own benefit. And that's when that phrase comes into play, where you have to love someone truly enough for you to let them go. So I think it's a matter of sacrifice, being selfless in the relationship, that their well-being is much more important than your own feeling for being with that person. So yes.
Absolutely, and I agree with you 100%. Let's ask Jake for that question as well. What do you think, Jake?
Well, I agree to Miss Chloe about it, since as per love, there should be sacrifices. Since in love, there's ups and downs. So if you are not willing to sacrifice, or let's say, let's say you need to let go, if you're not if you're not that strong enough to let go, then why did you commit to that relationship in the first place? So I 100% agree to Miss Chloe about it, that for sacrifice, since I think what my ex partner meant for it is for me to find myself, for me to look myself, correct myself, and yeah, let's just hope for the best. And since time, as they say, time will heal everything. So first things first, if he or she sacrificed to let you go, look for yourself, redeem yourself, go back to the straight path. And if you still hold strong love for that person, then try to go back and accept what happens if he or she will accept or will not accept you back. That's my opinion.
All right, thank you for that. And I think we all agree on this particular topic. So moving on to the last one, I'll just let Danica take over this one. This is actually I'd say the thing that we can really wrap up with. So go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, so I would like to ask Mayo and Art for this question. So here what attitudes will you leave behind before entering a new relationship? Let's go ask Mayo first.
What's the question again, Nix?
Um, what attitudes will you leave behind before entering a new relationship?
Attitudes. Um,
Mayo.
probably, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So the attitudes are, well, I'm not sure, but probably if I'm gonna be entering a new relationship, I would leave behind the attitude. I'm not sure if it's really an attitude though, but I used to be so super clingy. I think everybody is. And
No.
or as I used to be super clingy, and I used to be like the
Yes.
type of a person who would like give the guy the freedom to, be yourself. You have your me time because before you met me, you have your friends, you have those group of people, you can enjoy your time with them, and that leads to cheating. So I am not sure if I can, but I'll try to be more matured with that type of attitude or personality, because the last time that I spoke with my ex before we like cleared everything with the two of us, is he told me that I want you to like stop me from doing these things. I want you to make me feel that you're being like strict or whatnot. You check on me or those things. But for me, I don't think that's really essential in a relationship, because if you trust someone, you let them be, right? But I'm not sure if whoever I'll be in a relationship with would agree to that. So it would depend on the person if he would be that type of a person that who would ask me to please always check on me, please do this, please do that. I will base who I will be basing on the person that I'm gonna be dating with. So yeah, that's it.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Mayo. What about you, Art?
I'm actually not quite sure. Maybe I think what I'll leave behind before I enter into a relationship would be that sometimes I could be really condescending, especially when you are unsure of what you want in life. I mean, I don't have everything figured out in my life, but I just want my say, whoever I'll be with in the near future again. I want that person to be somehow at least she has a plan with her life because I mean sometime in the past when I was still when I was a college student with my last year of relationship, whenever I asked her what do you want to do, what do you want to do, what are your plans and this or whatnot, she's still not sure. And I was kind of like, oh, okay, so you're still not sure. So where does that put our plans in? We can't really plan for us if you don't know what your plan is for you. But right now I just realized that hey, it's okay when you still have not yet figured out your life. I mean, I thought I had my life figured out way years back, but now right now I'm still unsure what to do next because of all the COVID thing and also yeah, I think I won't be really condescending next time. I will try to tone down say that slight judgment that I have to say people that are really unsure for now of their life, something like that. It's kind of messy, and yeah, I just that. Next.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Art.
Alrighty. I think yeah, I think we should be all good actually for now. Thank you so much everyone, by the way, for coming by, and we also want to thank our audience who are watching on YouTube and all our social media channels. Again, whichever platform you're on, please hit that like button, and if you're on YouTube, please ring that subscribe button and make sure that notification bell is rung so that you can get all the latest content. Everyone, again, thank you so much, and we all hope you have a great Valentine's. Take care.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much,
So,
guys, and
Bye.
thank you so much for joining me
Bye bye.
today.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye
Bye,
bye.
guys.